All right, so we're starting with the Mark Harris Blue Sky post, the stabbing, Jewish guy and an Asian guy. And the framing difference is it's not even subtle. One gets a full hate crime headline, the other gets dispute escalates.
Yeah, the Asian guy just got involved in an altercation. It's like the media equivalent of he was asking for it, but with a thesaurus.
Right. And Harris called out the Mamdani reference, the whole good victim, bad victim dynamic. Mahmoud Mamdani wrote about that in Good Muslim, Bad Muslim. The idea that we categorize victims based on who the perpetrator might be.
It's almost elegant in its cynicism. If the attacker is a white supremacist, then the Jewish victim is a pure innocent. If the attacker is, say, a random guy who just hates everybody equally but happens to be non-white, then suddenly both victims are complex. The Asian guy becomes collateral damage in a narrative they can't sell.
And it's not like this is a one-off. We've seen the exact same pattern with every random stabbing, every shooting. The media has a flowchart. Is the perpetrator white? Then it's a hate crime. Is the perpetrator brown? Then it's a mental health issue or a gang dispute.
And if the perpetrator is a cop, then it's officer-involved shooting, and the victim is resisting. It's all the same machinery. The point is to protect the narrative of who gets to be a monster and who gets to be a victim. Mamdani's framework is basically saying the state decides whose life is grievable.
I don't disagree with the diagnosis, but we could fix this with better journalistic standards, like a mandatory bias checklist. Headline editors have to ask, would I use the same language if the races were swapped?
Oh, a bias checklist? That'll stop the 24-hour news cycle from chasing the most advertiser-friendly angle. Sure. And then we'll put a sticker on the bottom of the screen that says, "This segment may contain unconscious bias." Problem solved.
No, I know it sounds naive, but that's how institutions can get better. The AP Style book revised their guidance on illegal immigrant years ago, and it changed how a lot of outlets report. Small wins.
The AP Style book also says to call a stabbing a stabbing. Doesn't stop them from adding a parenthetical, unclear motivation. The fix isn't a style guide. The fix is that the people who own the outlets don't want to scare away white suburban viewers with stories about random violence committed by someone who looks like their neighbor.
Wait, but even if you're right about ownership, and I think you're mostly right, we still need to pressure the ones we can pressure. Public radio, local papers, they're not all captured.
Sure, and the ones that aren't captured have a circulation of 12.5 people. Look, I'm not saying don't try. I'm saying the pattern is structural. The stabbing didn't happen in a vacuum. The framing didn't happen because one editor was having a bad day. It happened because our entire information ecosystem is built to maintain a certain comfort level for a certain audience.
So what do we do? Just laugh and move on?
No, we point it out every time. That's what we're doing right now. That's what Mark Harris did. Shamelessly name the framework. Mamdani, Fanon, whoever. Make it impossible to ignore. Because the only thing worse than a media bias is a media bias that thinks nobody notices.
Fair, but I still think regulation and public pressure can shift the Overton window. You see it with the both sides thing. 10 years ago, every news story had a climate denier. Now they at least put a "this person is wrong" footnote.
Yes, the footnote. The sharpest sword of social justice.
All right, fine. You win this round. But you're still wrong about the AP Style book.
I'll add it to the list of things you believe in that I mock affectionately.
The 11-year-old American Natasha Simpson to her knees, deliberately zeroed in and fired an extra burst at her head.
Ah, incredible insight from the former president. Right on cue.
Thanks for that. Very helpful context. We were just discussing journalistic standards, and that really clarified things.
All right.
Let's shift gears. Okay, so I'm reading this NBER paper, Self-Fulfilling Credit Scores. Basically, if your score drops for a dumb reason, you become a worse credit risk because now you have a lower score and can't refinance. So you default. The prediction literally makes itself true.
That is so on brand for our whole system. Like, oh, you're flagged as risky? Cool. We're gonna make you risky. It's the same logic as the dead internet theory. Once you believe everything is bots, you start acting like bots are the only audience. So you only make content for bots.
Right. And enshittification is the same loop. Platforms start sucking because they squeeze users and creators. Then everyone predicts it'll get worse, so they either leave or game the algorithm, which makes it worse faster. It's like a cognitive dissonance feedback loop, where your belief in the outcome becomes the engine.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. The cognitive dissonance is you know you're in a dying system, but you keep participating because you're locked in. Like, I've seen people on Twitter saying, this site is dead, and then posting 16 times an hour about how dead it is. That's the credit score borrower going, I'm gonna default anyway, and then defaulting.
Or the guy who watches the stock market trending on Google, millions searching Dow Jones, and that panic itself causes the dip. The sirens meme is trending. That's exactly that. We're all tied to the mast, hearing the song of self-fulfillment.
Wait, so is the meme the market signal or not? Because I saw that Matt Damon thing and thought, okay, ancient history repeating itself. But also it's just a meme. That's the thing. You can't tell if the prediction is genuine or just another layer of the feedback.
That's the dead internet part. The bot accounts retweet the meme. The meme becomes viral. Humans see it and think, oh, this is a thing, so they make more of it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy about a self-fulfilling prophecy. We're in a hall of mirrors.
And the fix? Better regulation of credit scoring algorithms? Sure, but you'd also have to regulate the attention economy, which is basically regulating human psychology. Good luck.
Or we just burn the whole credit system and build something local and mutual aid based. But I know, you want to add a few commas to the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
No, I mean, I think you can enforce a rule that says you can't use a score to worsen someone's situation unless the score is based on actual default data, not just correlations. But yeah, that's a regulatory pipe dream until we break up the big three bureaus.
They're basically oracles. The credit score says you're risky. Well, now you're risky. You know who else had self-fulfilling prophecies? The Streisand effect. Trying to suppress something guarantees it spreads. That's the same mechanism. Prediction becomes enforcement.
The Streisand effect is still doomed, but not hilarious. But seriously, every time I see dead internet theory trending, I think, if you believe it, you stop posting real content, which feeds the bots. It's like the Jeremy sleeping meme ruining that guy's relationship. The fear of the meme made the meme real.
So what do we do? Just not have predictions? That's impossible. Human brains are prediction machines.
I think you just have to build systems that don't amplify the prediction. Like a credit score that doesn't change based on how many times you check it. Or a platform that doesn't show you the viral count until after you post. Break the loop.
So basically, redesign capitalism to ignore its own feedback signals. Easy.
Shut up. Let's take a break. All right.
Let's shift gears.
So Rand Paul literally had security remove Fauci's attorney from a hearing. Like, physically hauled him out. For what? For existing in the room?
For the crime of being a lawyer. In a room full of senators who think they're prosecutors. Classic theater of the absurd.
Right, but it's also a perfect example of Godwin's law in action. Except instead of Nazis, it's just authority flexing for the cameras. The Milgram experiment, but with C-SPAN ratings.
Oh, sure. Let's just obey the guy with the gavel because he says remove him. And the press is just standing there watching like the bystander effect in real time. Nobody's going to say, hey, this is a performative power trip.
But that's the thing. Everyone knows it's performative. The senator knows it, the lawyer knows it, the cameras know it. We're all in on the joke, but we still watch. It's like the Sirens meme from the Odyssey. We're all Matt Damon tied to the mast, but instead of singing, it's Rand Paul doing a weird flex.
Years ago, 2,000 years ago, the proudest boast was Civis Romanus.
Thanks for that, Emperor Palpatine. Anyway, the press just stands there because they're waiting for the next viral clip. Nobody wants to be the first to say, this is a nothing burger designed to make you angry.
It is a nothing burger, but it works. People are mad, the lawyer got removed, Rand Paul gets to look tough to his base, and we're here talking about it. The Milgram thing isn't about the shock. It's about that we all just play along.
The real shock is that nobody in the room said, hey, this is dumb, let's move on. But that would require breaking the script. The script says, senator does weird thing, press reports weird thing, we argue about weird thing. No one rewrites the script.
So what's the fix? Better rules about who can be ejected from a hearing? Or just stop giving these performances airtime?
Or let the lawyer stay and argue his case. That's the radical idea. Hear someone out. But that's not a meme, so it'll never trend.
All right.
Let's shift gears.
All right. Let's take a quick break from the theater of the absurd and talk about something that affects real people. Norway just banned AI in elementary schools.
Oh, I saw that. The headline is just chef's kiss. Norway says kids need to learn without AI. Meanwhile, every large language model on Earth is looking at that headline like, and where are my training tokens supposed to come from? The fjords?
Right? The irony is almost too perfect. So you've got the Norwegian government saying kids need to develop critical thinking, handwriting, basic arithmetic, real human cognition. And the AI companies are like, great, save those kids. But also, can we get their homework? We're starving.
It's a data famine. Marty, did you catch that Dwarkish podcast a few weeks ago? The one about data black holes?
I did not. Hit me.
So the thesis is that the internet is closing. Reddit locks its API, Twitter goes behind a paywall, publishers slap up AI-resistant paywalls. The public web, which was this open buffet for training data, is turning into a series of gated communities, and the models are panicking. They're running out of clean, high-quality text.
So Norway banning AI in schools isn't just a pedagogical choice. It's literally removing a potential data source from the global pool. Every essay that isn't written in a Norwegian elementary school is a token the next GPT doesn't get to eat.
We are going to have to start mining fan fiction archives for scraps. I trained the new model on 14 petabytes of My Immortal and Twilight rewrites. It is incoherent.
No. I mean, it's a real tension, though. Like, do we want kids to have a protected space to be dumb, fail, learn? Or do we want to maximize the data pipeline? Because right now, the incentives are pointing hard at just let the chatbot grade their homework so we can scrape it.
And that's the part that kills me. The Norwegian policy, it's sensible on paper. Children need to form neural pathways without an autocomplete crutch. Fine. But the reason it feels radical is because the entire tech industry has built its business model on the assumption that every minute of a child's life is free content to be extracted.
Yeah, but here's where you and I might split. I look at Norway and go, okay, good regulation. They defined a boundary. Schools are for humans, not for training corporate models. That's the fix. Clear rules.
And I look at it and go, great. Now the data they would have generated just gets vacuumed up by the next company that has a privacy-friendly chatbot that is definitely totally not sharing your kids' essays with a cloud server in Virginia.
So you think the ban is just a speed bump? That the data will find its way out?
I think the ban is a symptom. The question isn't, should kids use AI? The question is, who owns the cognitive surplus of an entire generation? Norway said the kids do, which is nice. But the market is saying, yeah, we want that surplus. It's the only thing keeping the model from plateauing.
Okay, that's dark. But it also makes me wonder, are we creating a new kind of ignorance? Like, the Norwegian kids won't know how to prompt a chatbot, but the American kids will have their thinking done for them from 3rd grade. Both groups are missing something.
One group is missing AI literacy. The other group is missing literacy. I know which one I'm more worried about.
And that's the thing. The data hunger means that AI companies want every keystroke. They want the process of learning itself to become a data stream. So a kid struggling to sound out a word, that's a training example. A kid getting frustrated and writing a bad sentence, that's reinforcement learning data. They want the struggle.
We have detected that student A is confused by the concept of long division, recording confusion vector, selling to Pearson. It's a parody, but it's not.
So what's the move? You keep AI out of schools entirely? That seems like fighting the last war.
I think you keep the extraction out. You let kids use a tool that runs locally, that doesn't phone home, that doesn't turn their homework into a product. That's the line. Norway drew it. But the industry is shouting, you're keeping kids from the future, when what they mean is, you're keeping us from the kids.
And in 10 years, when the models have plateaued because we locked down the data, they'll blame the regulators. You starved the AI.
And then they'll start a meme about the lost sirens of the data sea, the knowledge that could have been. Matt Damon, tied to the mast, screaming, just let me see the chatbot's homework.
All right.
Let's shift gears. So the sirens meme is trending. Matt Damon tied to a mast, screaming at a chatbot's homework. The internet has officially become a classic seminar with worse lighting.
It's kind of perfect, though. The Odyssey is literally about resisting temptation, and we're out here saying the models could have been smarter if we just fed them everything. It's the same story.
Right, but in the original, the sirens promise knowledge of everything that happens on Earth. Now they promise you can generate a 5-paragraph essay on the Peloponnesian War without citing a single source. Progress.
In the meme format, you've got Odysseus tied to the mast, the crew with wax in their ears. It's already a perfect metaphor for every content moderation debate we've ever had. I need to see the bad information to stay informed. No, you need to not post that.
Meanwhile, the Streisand effect is still doomed, but not hilarious, per our earlier segment. So the meme is both a warning and a trend report. It's a self-fulfilling cultural artifact. Once you call something a sirens meme, you've already tied yourself to the mast of engagement.
And now there's a whole subreddit trying to figure out if Matt Damon's performance in that scene was too earnest for a meme. Like, the movie's not even out yet, and it's already being judged by its meme potential. That's the 2025 version of, is the painting any good?
Oh, but the real brain rot is the Snossages Family Guy bit trending alongside it. Brian Griffin referencing a 1980s ad, now a meme. That's the other side of the same coin. Nostalgia recycling into nonsense. The Sirens sing about the future. Snossages sings about the forgotten past. We've got both ends covered.
And somewhere, a Redditor is blaming the Jeremy sleeping meme for ruining their relationship. Which, that's a whole other level of self-fulfilling prophecy. I saw a meme, I acted like a meme, my partner left me, now the meme is trending again. It's memes all the way down.
So the closing takeaway? The siren scene is just a meme, not a market signal. Don't confuse virality with economic truth. And if you find yourself tied to a mast screaming, "Let me see the chatbot's homework," maybe ask yourself, did you need to see it? Or did the algorithm just tell you that you did?
Either way, it's a better closing than remember to pay your taxes. Thanks, sirens. You're the heroes we deserve.
And the ones we'll meme into oblivion. All right, let's get out of here.